In the last video, we have solved the case 1 of this problem. In this video, we are going to solve the second one. A channel purlin along with a sag rod at its midsection. So let me jump into that. Right. So, first thing is, as I told you, when sag rod is used at midspan, the movement in y direction or about y is going to reduce by 75%. Okay, it would be correct if we can write about y. About y axis reduces by 75%. అంటే 75% తగ్గిపోతుంది. యాక్చువల్గా మనకి myని మనం ఏం రాస్తాం wy l square by 8. బట్ 75% reduce అయిందంటే only 25% is remaining. So 0.25, right? So 0.25 can be written as 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 into wl square by 8 will give you wl square by 32, isn't it, right? So you got this. See, this is the purlin, right? I mean, yes. This is the purlin. This is z axis and this is vertical axis y. So when load is acting, what happens is, let me take this figure. This would be right. Okay, this is perpendicular axis y and this is z. So when load is acting on this is going to bend about z. But what happens is, when this member tries to bend in this way about y-axis, it cannot move, it cannot rotate because of this claddings. That is why when sag rod is put, there is a tremendous decrease in the movement that is going to happen. Okay, this my is going to decrease because of the sag rod. Okay, so on calculation it is 1.105 kilonewton meter and mz will be same, okay, which will be 12.126 kilonewton meter. Now, of course, you know what is wz. Wz is the load acting on the z plane, which we calculated in the case 1. Okay, we are just taking it out here. The same loads, everything is same, right? So now, first thing is calculate the section modulus. So I told you, when you want to find out what is the ZPZ required, you need to know what is H and what is B. So in order to put H and B values, you have to assume a trial section. So here I have assumed I assumed a section ISMC 100, whose height is 100 overall depth and B is 50. Of course, this may not be the section finally I am going to use, but this is the trial section. So now this is H and B. Put that value, I got 77.66 into 10 to the power of 3 mm cube. Now, whatever the section I am going to take, I am going to select for this purlin, that should have a section modulus greater than 77.66. So now, based on that, I have taken a section ISMC 150, okay, whose height is 150, overall depth is 150, and width of the flange is 75. So TF9, TW 5.7. These are elastic section modulus about z and phi. These are obtained from code. From code you can get it. And ZPZ value from code, right? You can get from code from annexure H of IS 800. I told you that ZPY value is to be calculated. That is not given in the code book. You have to calculate it. Okay, similar to how we are going to do in case 1 also. So as I told you, I'm going to share a small video on the calculation of ZP by value separately without mixing it up. And uh, of course, IZZ and IYY also. Of course, this is not required, so I did not write. And IZZ from code. This is from code again. So section classification. So what is B75 TF9? So this. So as I told you, epsilon is equals to root over 250 by F5. Since Fi is also 250, epsilon is equals to 1. So this is equals to 9.4. So here 9.4, it has satisfied both these conditions. Therefore, we can say that this is a plastic section. So since shear capacity is not being checked, shear capacity is not being seen, since the shear force due to load is very small. So we have discussed about this in the previous case. Generally, purlins are subjected to very small shear forces. I mean, the shear strength of the member is going to be very high compared to the shear force that is developing in the that is seen in the purlin. So every time it satisfies, so you no need to check the shear capacity of that, but you have to check the moment carrying capacity about Z and Y also. MdZ and MdY has to be calculated. Of course, this ZPY value is the value that is found out by calculations and has to be substituted here. And as I told you, one important thing here is MdZ should be greater than the moment due to load MZ, and MdY should be greater than the moment My created due to load. Okay, is that condition being satisfied? Yes, both these conditions are satisfied because MZ and My and these are the values we have calculated that. See, this is My and this is MZ. This is 1 point something and this is 12 point something, right? See here, this is 1 point something, MZ is 1 point something, right? So it is very greater. MdZ is very much greater than MZ. Cool. And here also. So now, as you can see, this MD by value should be less than 1.5 times of ZE by Fy by gamma m. Okay, my mistake, see here. MZ is actually 12 point something. 12 point something. And this is 1 point something. Okay. So here also this condition is going to be satisfied, but of course still this is MD by greater than My, therefore section can be taken as safe. And find out the overall strength of the member. If the section satisfies this equation, then it can be said that this member has sufficient amount of strength to avoid buckling and crippling failure. So MZ is calculated something 12.126 and My 1.105, which is calculated above, and MdZ and MdY values are also calculated in the above step, and substitute them, it is less than 1. Therefore, the member has sufficient amount of strength. Check for deflection. This is a simply supported case. So this is the expression here. W unfactored load. Factor of safety to multiply చేయకముందు ఉన్న value ని substitute చేయాలి ఇక్కడ. Okay, dead load. Live load is going to be very much small, right? So I'm going to neglect that value. And this is of course in the case of Z. Okay, put the values in Z. And of course you can calculate delta Y also by putting Wy in place of this here, unfactored load. But that would be lesser than 7.95. Okay, ఏ డైరెక్షన్ ఎక్కువ డిఫ్లెక్షన్ వస్తుందంటే జెడ్ డైరెక్షన్లోనే జనరల్గా. సో అందుకే ప్రతిసారి కూడా మనం జెడ్కి వీఆర్ గివింగ్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ టు జెడ్. ఓకే, జెడ్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు డిఫ్లెక్ట్ ఇన్ జెడ్ డైరెక్షన్. And on substitution of 3.76 and this, and E value and I value which is obtained from the code book, you can get 7.95, and it is less than 22.22, 22 mm. This is already calculated in the case 1, so I have put that value directly. You can just check it, and it is safe. And similarly, because of the wind suction also, we have to find out the moment, similar to what we have done in the case 1. So you have to calculate Wz and Wy because of wind, which is equals to, this is partial factor of safety, partial factor of safety or safety factor, 1.5 into wind MO minus 1, and 0.9 into dead load is this. This is calculated in case 1, right? These loads are calculated in case 1. So substitute them, this, and this is Wy. And upon calculation, you get this. Remember, since sag-rod is used in calculation of My, you have to take only 25% of WL square by 8. So this is Mz My. And I told you that we need MdZ. MdZ can be obtained by calculating FBD. FBD can be obtained by MCR or by calculating FCR. So this we have used in case 1, and let us follow this for case 2. That is, first find out FCR, then find out FBD, and then calculate MdZ. So FCR is, this is the equation from code IS 800. Of course, you people may be aware of this equation, as we've seen this equation in our beam design. And KL is the effective length. This is effective length, KL. K is equals to 1 for simply supported. So Ry is radius of gyration, minimum radius of gyration that you can get from the code book. Put that 181.8. So from table 14, from this value KL by Ry, you can get what is the value of FCR, that is 173.1 Newton per mm square. Or substitute the value of KL by Ry, this value, in the above equation, and FCR can be calculated. So FCR can be calculated from this equation or from the table 14 of IS 800. Okay. So now I know FCR. So now what I should do is I need to find out FBD and next MdZ. So FBD can be obtained from table 13A of IS 800. So you need two values, that is, you need to know FCR value and Fy value. You know Fy is 250 and FCR is 173.1. So based on those two values, you can find out what is the value of FBD from table 13A. And I found out that the value is 120 Newton per mm square. Okay. See, in the table, you may be having for something like 170 and 180. And if you want to find out FBD value for 173, so you just simply need to interpolate it. So MdZ is equals to ZpZ into FBD, and on substituting the respective values, 14.38 kilonewton meter is the MdZ value. Now you need to consider one thing. You have to check. See, what is the MZ value? 2.492. What is here? 14.38. So MdZ is very much greater than MZ. So safe. And overall strength is also to be checked because of this. And upon substituting MZ and M value, remember we are going to consider MZ values and you are going to calculate MZ and My values twice. They are not same. Okay, there is a chance that you can confuse. So when you are doing the calculation for wind suction, MZ and My are calculated second time again. Okay, but you get different values, remember that. And it is going to be less than 1? Yes, absolutely it is less than 1. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the angle section per unit.